Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
I am Joe, an anime sicko.
Before we get started, we gotta thank some patrons. Joe, people give us money. You know it. We all know it.
And $5 is just an enjoyable amount.
So,
inflation is a thing, but there's something about $5 where it's just a fun number to get.
It's like if you only gave you $1,
eat shit.
Well,
right?
I would still like it. I mean, I would still.
Okay, let's roll that one back.
But someone gives you $5, you're like, holy shit, this makes my day. And also, I don't feel guilty because like no one's like going broke off of $5. If you are, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
And if you are, it's very kind of you to put it towards us, but you need to reassess.
Yeah, we have jobs. Like we
complain about them all the time.
All right, but no, we got 3 new patrons, delightful folks all, and let's thank them all. First patron is gonna be Alyssa Hahn. Alyssa, lovely $5. Actually, I'm looking at it. It's €4.5, Joe. That's like fucking sophisticated. This is like Frasier's money.
Yes, we have the Frasier MMO currency.
Nice, yeah. This is the V-Bucks for Frasier. Our next patron, this is a US dollars, the classic 5. I don't have to just assume that Patreon is correct when they say that this rounds up to 5. Is $5 normal dollars from Kelsey Hockmuller. Kelsey, thank you for your lovely donation. We love it.
Thank you very much.
And finally, we got, oh man, I'm going to take a swing with the pronunciation here. It's actually not, I'm looking at it, it's not that hard. I'm probably going to do it right in the first time. And even if I don't, I'm going to be really close. It's Richie O'Hara Beamond. Richie O'Hara Beamond. Richie. You're the first of your 2 hyphenated names, a cinch. The second, oof, I hope I did it.
We like your money just the same. Thank you.
It's true. So all of our patrons allow us to do stupid shit, like make dumb fucking projects that nobody asked for, and also pay all of our guests to be on the show. So it really feels good. When you donate, you can donate at patreon.com/animesickos. But that's not what we're here to do today. We're not here to show the Patreon the whole time. No, Joe, because we're doing a posting episode. We're going to take some time and be your posting professors and take you on a trip through various moments of great import in the history of posting.
Yeah, we haven't been too on the posting front lately. Personally, because I don't know, it's just different places that are on fire, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this in Posters Ear is Permanent Now, and also the Posting Wastes, the titles of which kind of tip our hand as to what we think, which is that posting sucks now, and there's like it's not funny anymore. It just is gray and dry.
Posting is fun when it's hee. I have my office job, and this is my little rectangle I escape to say doo-doo ass.
I assume the goblin stance and can cause little mischiefs to happen.
Yeah, the problem is, like, everything is that now. The pandemic has changed it, so it's all like that. Like, we're all playing in the same noise. Posting is everywhere. So the little rectangle you escape to is actually just a smaller version of your own home.
Mm-hmm. It's quite bad. Well, that's why, Joe, it's more important than ever to be well-versed in your history. Much like the history of America, the history of posting is kept from you on purpose so that you don't know the truth.
Yeah, you got to take AP posting to learn about the real stuff.
Yeah, this is AP post. This is IB posting. You know about IB? Those are like even fancier letters to be before a class.
I don't even know how to say the B word. It's bachelor.
It's irritable bowel, Joe. Bachelor lure. You take these classes to find a man. So, okay, the first post that was the impetus to starting this list of posting moments is something that we've talked about in the past, but we got to say it again, and it's Jonathan Chait getting Beauford.
Yeah, this is just a really special moment. the context is this. Jonathan Chait was playing pickup basketball at his gym, and he received a grievous injury. And then he took a picture of himself in the shower of the cut on his head and posted like, "Hey, medical types, am I going to make it?"
Yeah, go. The text is medical types just got this injury. Go to ER or just go home and ice it. And he has taken this picture and I think a steamer that you make Asian buns in because there's never been a wetter man.
The only way it could have been funnier is if like you could see his ass on the reflection of the tile behind him. Like that would be the only way it could be funny. The lighting is very poor. He looks very wet. It's not flattering.
His skin has like the greenish tinge of a corpse. He looks like a fish. It's quite bad.
So regardless of the fact that he gets tricked by like a schoolyard word game in a moment, there's so much urgency that he's like trying to be cool about. Like he couldn't wait to take this picture. And his eye is fine. For the record, yeah, it's fine.
He had a little boo-boo. He got a small cut about 1 centimeter in length, not bleeding. So if it was a bleeder, then like that'd be pretty scary. But it's not, and it's just like chilling there. And he decided that he needed all 205,000 of his followers to see on their timeline a big picture of his wet, nude, clammy face skin in fisheye lens, just really deforming the shape into a non-Euclidean mass. He needs everyone to see this. And then, Joe, what happens? What does the hero of this story then do?
Well, Jonathan asks for medical types, and lo and behold, a medical type arrives. A poster comes by and says the following. I'm an ER doc based in Kentucky. I would go to an emergency room just to be safe. The puncture looks shallow and clean, but the close proximity to the orbital could mean compromised eye vasculature, which, if exasperated and not caught early, could lead to BOFA.
Now, if you've posted for any length of time, you know exactly what this is. Everyone says, oh, what about BOFA? Or you should be worried about BOFA. Or you should call this into BOFA. And it never works because you have to be a fucking rube. Like a baby brain, like just learned about shapes type of guy to fall for this.
BOFA is like when you put your finger on someone's chest and they look down and you just flick their nose. That's what BOFA is.
And of course, Jonathan Chait replies, what is BOFA?
Yeah.
To which...
he's dead. He's done.
The original poster replies, BOFA these commie nuts, moist boy. And, Joe, this is something that I didn't realize until just now. This entire exchange took place on July 12th, my birthday.
Oh, a gift to you.
So that's the kind of shit that you can expect from the rest of this episode. And let's not even fuck around. Let's move right on to the next one, which I think I want to do the most recent one. This one just happened, but I think it is in the pantheon. And you, as far as I know, are not so familiar with the specifics, so I'm going to get to read it to you for the first time, if I understand correctly. Joe, I'm talking about the Gia Tolentino poem.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this. I only know her from her human trafficking work.
So yeah, you speak correctly of her human trafficking work. We've talked about this in the past, that her parents did a lot of that and exploiting laborers in poverty. And all of her blue check friends said it's so sad that anyone would yell at you for that or make fun of your parents. And that felt a little weird. But whatever. Okay, we move on. She continues to write for the New Yorker or wherever she writes for. I don't really know. And then a couple of days ago, you see a lot of posts about, oh my God, the Gia Tolentino poem. And I thought to myself, she wrote a poem. Okay, that makes sense. She is a professional writer. She could do that. That wouldn't be crazy. A lot of people going on like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I read the poem. And it's like, okay, well, Gia's poem either is like really bad or like really good.
I would just hedge really bad based on the fact we don't really live in a poetic society where people stop what they're doing to be like, I got some verse we need to reflect on.
It's like Cat Person. Like when a fucking short story gets big, it's not because it's good. It's because it's like salacious or what have you. It's like, who cares? So I was like you. I was thinking maybe this poem's pretty bad, but let's just hold out hope. Maybe it's good. We'll see. Let's just see how it shakes out. At this point, I didn't care enough to research, to look into it. And then a couple more people talk about this Gia Tolentino poem, and someone let slip in their wording that it is not as I suspected. She did not write a poem. Someone wrote a poem about Gia Tolentino, and that's when my brain annihilates the possibility of it being good.
Oh, wait, really?
Oh, you didn't know?
No, dude.
Oh my God.
You told me to not read it, and I was like, I love it.
That's what I was gonna do anyway. Oh, dude, this is such a treat. No, this was a poem written by a guy named Nicholas Rambez called Gia Tolentino. That was the title of the poem. And this was a funny thing, is that it was published to the internet literary journal 3am magazine, and posted on their Twitter 2 days before it like became a thing. So it was just like out there, like, yeah, here's a poem from our literary journal. Here's another one of the ones you like. This is the kind of thing that meets our standards. And then someone noticed it and went, oh my God, because Joe, what I'm about to read to you, this Gia Tolentino poem, is fucking bazonkers. Can I read this to you?
Yeah. Did they have to take it down because it made people too horny?
I don't know. They didn't ever say why it's down. You can't go to it now. You get a 404 on the 3am magazine site, and they've not acknowledged it, but it's gone. But some enterprising folks have screenshotted it, so it's around forever. Here it is, Joe. The poem Gia Tolentino by Nicholas Rambez. Here I go. I want to ask Gia Tolentino, to ask me, to ask her, to ask me, to let me take, conditionally, her hand, the soft pink palm of it, a gentle push against my wonder-bred face. Let's take a pause to just catch our breaths, because we've been dealt incredible psychic damage. Nothing. You can never... Okay, if you're writing a poem and you have the words soft and pink next to each other, just delete your poem and jack off.
Yeah. Wonderbread face, it kind of sucks because, like, that... I have a Wonderbread face. Like, that applies to me.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, you're not asking Gia Tolentino to ask you, to ask her, to ask you, to let you take conditionally her hand and put it against your one.
To his credit, there is politeness in the sort of logistics at the start.
Mm-hmm. It gets kind of weird, though. I mean, it gets fucking worse, is what I'm trying to say. Joe, just some preparation for the following stanzas. One thing I just hate about modern poetry is when they just will use like fucking vocabulary words that they know. They don't just know, they're hoping that you don't know what this means. So that when you hear it, you're just like, wow, code words. A genius must have wrote this. And it makes me so fucking pissed off because like this is not you think that you're making a great image by using these fucking vocabulary words, but what you're saying is nonsense. This is absolute gibberish.
You have an English degree, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
So keep that in mind as you hear these following stanzas. See if you can figure out which parts I think are just fucking nonsense. So, the poem continues, after the wonderbread face part, thusly. Gia, I've deleted all my bygones and ghosted each and every version of myself. A kingdom I don't believe in anymore. 27 days in nickel-freezing northern Michigan beneath those denuded tamaracks in the evil Red Lodge. I've got my elk herds, my strohs, my European black forests.
This is Viking shit. Okay, cool. What? Yeah.
What's nickel freezing, Joe?
It's cold.
What's that
it's cold.
mean?
It means it's fucking cold.
Why is my nickel getting frozen? What's a denuded tamarack, Joe?
That's the fucking Star Wars thing Luke like hides in.
Is the evil Red Lodge Twin Peak? Is he saying he's Twin Peak?
Is that your teacher's note to underline and be like Twin Peak?
yes. Yeah. There's a lot of these. If I was a teacher, a lot of these lines would just have a single question mark next to them. It's like, huh? Oh, God. Joe, it's pretty bad. But I got one final stanza to give you. And wowee. If you thought that the soft pink part was a little creepy, wait till you hear this shit. The final stanza of Gia Tolentino. Oh, Gia, I want to come back new into this eely, wet, slippery world with you.
I'm sorry to say, but this man horny.
He is horny as fuck. He's talking about shit being eely, wet, slippery. Joe, I don't want to hear about anything that's eely, wet, and slippery. This sounds gross. And so the thing that can never be like replicated, this part of the experience was unfortunately not archived by the brave screenshotters who saved the text of the poem. But I gotta tell you, the experience of reading the poem was something that's special, even beyond the text. This is an instance of like the medium recontextualizing the text, in a way where, like, you know how people like, oh, only a video game could make this experience, only film could do this.
I agree with that generally when it's people are talking about T-posing. I think only video games can do that.
Yeah, well, you're about to hear about basically the poetical equivalent of T-posing because, this poem, pretty short, right? I got through that quick. So you don't have to scroll down much to get to see the entire thing. But you do have to scroll down just a little bit. And when you do, when you hit that scroll wheel for the first time, part of what happens when you scroll to see the remainder of the text is that also sliding onto your computer screen is the biggest author photo I've ever seen in my life that absolutely dwarfs the size of the poem itself. It is bigger than the text of the poem, and it is this enormous Chait-like image of a huge dude's face really close. And maybe I'm exaggerating with how horrific and ghoul-like it looks. Maybe. In a vacuum, this would be a normal photo. But you've just read the Gia Tolentino poem, and you're feeling kind of sick, and you're like, man, I wonder how she must feel. Probably really scared for her life. And you see this fucking face like, blammo, here I am, loving my work. Can't wait for you to all connect this with me and my face forever. And man, oh man, I got knocked flat by that.
I had not seen the photo of his face until now.
Oh, you found it? Oh, dude.
Oh, wow. Do you think he asked for it?
I don't know. Is this a humiliation fetish thing? I don't know. The thing is that none of them have acknowledged it. There's been no, like, Notes app apology. If there was, then I would be like, okay, this was a big fucking jerk-off play. He did this so that he could get his dick hard, so that when everyone yelled at him. But I don't know. It is a humongous photo, though. Just really right up in his nose. You can see all of the texture. And you can see he's looking off to the side, thoughtfully, thinking up ways to say that things are eely. He's so proud. Oh, man. What's next?
Tom, I don't really use Craigslist that much, so I didn't know about this one.
Yeah, this was from given to us by Rain Clar, friend of the show, and ultimate homie. I think the best way to sum up this is the J.O. crystal, man.
Yes, this is the J.O. crystal. This is a Craigslist post, so it looks the same as it does now. But this is from 2008. Subject, charge up in J.O. 38.
38.
That's his age or perhaps power level. The crystal I wear around my neck contains an essence that gets recharged when I jack it with a bro who also has a crystal. It gives me confidence at work, home, social situations, etc.
Etc.
Etc. has such high potential, and it's so good to see it just really getting to stretch it out.
Stunning implications.
Nobody knows it's a J.O. crystal but me and my bros. I've seen it glow white while jerking it with a bud. That's how I know this is real. You can.
It would be the color it would glow, right? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. You can come over for us. Sorry, I have tears in my eyes right now, so it's very hard to read. You can come over for as long as you want, but I need a picture of you preferably wearing a crystal before I waste my time.
If you roll up to the spot, sans crystal, all of our J.O. energy is just going to be fucking free and leaking everywhere, and it's not going to go in the crystals. It only works if you jack it with a bro who also has a crystal.
Yeah.
That you need to close the circuit. It's like electricity. The circuit needs to be closed or it doesn't flow at all.
Yeah, he just understands the magical. He's ready for the Fate tournament. Like, he's ready for the Grail War, dude.
Joe, this isn't just a text post. I need you to describe the two images that have been appended to this listing.
Okay, the image of the crystal I would describe as the first thing you can steal in Morrowind.
Yes.
Do you think this guy kind of looks like Chris Maloney?
A little bit.
Yeah,
he's kind of got that like wild-eyed look. It's like this guy's got some sexual chaos going on.
Yeah, he's got a really good amount of chest hair. This is,
which you can see because he's what we can only assume to be fully nude. I mean, it's from the waist up, but like, come on.
Yeah, and that's he's just hanging out, so you know who to look for.
This rules because this is one of the few examples of a post where even if it's a big prank, it's just as good as if it was real.
The arrangement of the words are still good. If it was a goof, it's fine.
like at that point, you don't feel like you're just making up some fucking crazy situation for a laugh. It's like when they say like, I fed a computer 1,000 Frasier scripts and this is what it came up with, and Niles is like, Frasier, you a bitch, and Frasier's like, I love anime, and it's like, that's not okay. You didn't feed an AI shit. This is fake, and I don't like this. This is just like, if this is a prank, bravo, dude. I wish I could write about the crystals like this. I would never think to include that it only works if your bro also has a crystal.
Yeah, there's some world building there. That's really good. Also, if that is in fact his photo, like, and he didn't just, the person posting this didn't just throw like their buddy up there in a horrible move. Like, if this is someone willing to stand with this post, how can you tell me it's not real?
I mean, and like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like, why don't I have a crystal? Like, I have all this energy that's going nowhere. Yeah. I could put in a crystal. I'd be powerful. I could join the tournament. I would get Lancer. Lancer would be my spirit. Maybe I would learn about an Irish folk hero who used a lance. This is all being left on the table.
Yeah, and there's also just like a team building opportunities.
Joe, while we're on the topic of J-O-ing, I got one of the great posts of all time is from @Bobby. Posted this in January of 2017. This is it is a post, but it's mostly the video that's connected with it. Because Bobby writes, this snowy day, one imagines that January 7th, 2017 was snowy where he lived. This snowy day reminded me of the most insane video of all time. And I'm going to put the audio in here later.
From where?
We just came from shopping at L'Occitane. It's the only store that's open on 86th Street because my man here did so well on his test. He just wanted some hand lotion, and we went up and got it, but now they're closing.
Now let me ask you, you got good marks, and you wanted hand lotion? I guess because it's cold, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
We're going to make sure our hands stay moisturized. Have a great night.
Oh my god. The point that, like, the dad, you can tell, just like, it's very subtle. But there's a moment when he figures it out, and he's like, but now they're closing and we're going home. Everyone is so, like, there's such a fucking electric feeling of tension and discomfort in all three of the primary players, the dad, the son, and the news reporter, because they very quickly realize what they're all talking about. But we can't say that, and also it's too late to back out now.
It's like a Mexican standoff, but you also can't show that you're pointing the guns.
Because the gun is your lotiony hand holding your little donger. Like, you can't show that.
The issue is the way he builds up. My man did so good. that to me, that is pushing the boulder up the hill so you can let it roll down and crush you.
Oh, fuck. I guess because it's cold, right? And the kid's just like, yeah. Oh, man.
Can you imagine how traumatizing that would be as a kid, though? It's just like having... I can't even imagine having to process that. I
mean, you're certainly not going to be able to use that lotion for its purpose. It's going to be tainted.
No, not only that, but like the entire idea of masturbation is done.
Oh, yeah.
It's grayed out.
Also, why get good marks on a test again? Because, like, all that's going to make you do is your dad's going to be like, oh, good job. Do you want... you know what? Never mind. No reward. And you're like, yeah, that checks out. I blew that.
You did really great on your test. Do you want a really harrowing experience on public TV again? Would that be cool?
Would you like to embarrass yourself and me in front of everyone, and they all know that you are the child masturbator forever? It's not great, but you know what is great is this post, because holy shit. Every year, on the first big snowstorm or wherever you live, you think to yourself, wow, what a weather event. It's really rough out there. I would hate to be going to L'Occitane. Oh, shit, dude. Joe, we got to move on. Let's do a few quick hits. There's a lot of these that have a lot of meat for us to work through and really dissect what makes them work. But there's a lot of quick posting hits that just self-evidently sum up like a pathology of the human mind. And Joe, you know about Chuck Wendig? You familiar with this guy?
Yeah, he can't close his mouth.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's like a Travis McElroy type. He loves to have his mouth open. He got in a big thing about saying that libraries should be illegal, and I think he like got the internet Wayback Machine like
I think he
turned off.
Won. He the world is worse because of his thing, right?
Yeah, it was like the Star Wars Expanded Universe novels I wrote. I don't want anyone to read them unless they bought them. So libraries are stealing from me, and then he made the internet worse. And also someone like found the records of the sort of electronic library that he was railing against, and his works had been read like single digits number of times.
So anyway, he's good at posting, right?
Yeah, so he wrote, this is like, you know, the Lin-Manuel Miranda, Johnny Sun type of like cutesy self-affirmation, like remember to drink water shit. It's pretty bad. So that, all the things that they post, the worst, most cringeworthy things they've ever posted, have been watered down versions of what I'm about to read. Like, you chip a piece of this post off and you dissolve it in like a huge bucket of water and you get like Johnny Sun posts. Here it is. From Chuck Wendig. On July 10th, 2019. 2019! Oh, wow. This is, because this reads like a 2010 post. Like, this has that kind of energy. Oh, man. Here it is. Wednesday, the day you flumpty-foo and you think boop-de-bop and zippity-zoom. But the truth is, razza-frazza wuzza-wooza. What I'm trying to say is, maybe your brain isn't working either, but that's okay, because you're great. P.S. You need a firmware upgrade in the form of coffee.
Oh, it's Clockwork Orange stuff. That's pretty bad.
Like, you get what I mean when I could not believe that this was in 2019, right?
Yeah. I don't know. There's also, I feel, a very, like, huge infantilizing, not, I mean, obviously in this post, but, like, online in general. Like, I'm having trouble articulating it with examples, but I just feel like the new, like, sad right frog meme is that, like, you sip juice and, like, you say thanks, friends. Like, everyone is, like becoming very, like, weird, and I feel like he was just ahead of the curve on that. But also, he made it sound like, I don't know, it's just bad.
He said that Wednesday was the day you flumpty-foo, dude. And I'm just like, yeah, they had this idea that, like, I'm a blank person who just, like, rolled out of the Matrix pod, and when I'm tired in the morning, I have no fucking clue what's going on. I have no idea what any of this shit is, and I'm scared. I have no idea what to do or why I'm feeling like this. It's like, no, buddy. I've, like, been to sleep and woken up so many times. And, like, I've had coffee, like, before. You don't need to tell me about the flumpty food. I really can't believe that he didn't use the word epic in this post.
Yeah. He was itching for it, but he did not deliver. I just, the thing that really irks me about this, and also kind of the Johnny Sun thing, is that, like, I do not feel motivated when I see, like, language like this. I don't know. I feel like a stupid baby so much of, like, my own life. Like, just on, like, a regular basis, just trying to navigate everything. That, like, when there's an appeal to make my life better, and it's packaged the way that, like, a cooing toddler might like it, I'm like, don't remind me, please. It sucks, okay?
Oh, fuck.
Can I do the Brienne of Snarth?
Go for it.
This was in 2016, this important piece of internet artifact. This was a tweet by Brienne of Snarth. This was in response to a news item. And the news item was an alligator ate a kid.
A 2-year-old, like a little kid. Like an infant, basically.
So I think we're all in agreement. This is a classic bummer.
Yeah, if you were to, like, ask me to rate a toddler being eaten by a crocodile on a scale of, like, love this to hate this.
Like going almost all the way to hate this. Almost.
Yeah, absent any other context, it's going to be hate this every time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. There's nothing you can tell me that would make me like it. Brienne of Snarth, I'm sure, agrees here, right?
You fucking dropping this hammer. So she writes, I'm so finished with white men's entitlement lately that I'm not really sad about a 2-year-old being eaten by a gator because his daddy ignored signs. It's like, when we broke down posting for everyone and we said, like, posting has to have your true face, like, this is the true face leaking through. This is like when the lights are shooting out from behind their eyes to post this at you.
So, like, we've talked in the past about, like, Charlotte Clymer is addicted to doing this thing where
like
whenever
when there's COVID numbers go up in Alabama, it's like sips coffee or whatever. Like,
anytime a right-wing politician does something that actively harms their constituents, she is so pleased by the schadenfreude of knowing that those citizens' lives are going to get worse, not realizing that, like, they didn't have a choice, and also even if they did, like, have the choice to vote for the person who did it, like, even at, like, a landslide victory of, like, 65% of the state voting for the maniac, that means 35% of the people who live in that state do not want this to happen to them and are going to suffer anyway. So it's like, it's a very ugly sentiment. This is, again, it's like, this is the chunk of pure essence that a chip of it diluted in water became the Charlotte Clymer post, where it's just like, this is the ultimate distilled example of, like, that someone I hate is evil. So it's good that a gator ate A toddler. I'm happy about it.
It was the image that I found of it only has 55 retweets. I don't think it ended up there. Maybe it did. I don't know. It was a good post. It was funny because it's just like, yeah, I didn't think about that angle. Yeah, that's cool.
That's not something I would have thought. Again, as I said, I would have rated toddler being eaten by an alligator as hate it every single time. Did not think that I would see this take. Man, whoever screenshotted it at 55 retweets is a real seer of seers. they know, like, oh man, this is not long for the world.
Thank you. Whoever worked at Wired got a screen cap, so that's cool.
Oh, fuck. This next one is given to us by Erica at Radish on Twitter. Homie of the show. Huge homie. Big time homie. This is a Tumblr post. So, Joe, I'm not a super big on Tumblr. I don't know that much about that. So I'm glad that we have someone who does to give us the gist.
Tumblr is just basically a large gap in my online knowledge. I don't know really anything about it. All I know is Yahoo bought it and made some choices, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They took away the porn, which, like, what? Like, taking away porn is never going to be a decision that makes people happy. But anyway, here is a Tumblr post, and the way that these Tumblr posts work is that, you know, you make your post, and then someone can, like, reblog it and reply to it, and it's, like, quoted in your post, and then you're underneath, and someone can, like, reply to that one, and they can have these huge long threads where, like, the original post is this teeny tiny little thing in the center, and then there's all these concentric rings, like a crop circle, going out and out.
This is like expanding quote tweets, kind of.
Exactly, except you can see all of them at the same time. It's not that, like, Twitter game where you keep clicking the quote tweet because you're like, what's the original? You can see the original the whole time. This shit is real fucked because original post is a picture of a girl who looks pretty normal wearing a fucking sweater that looks normal. So I cannot be clear enough to you that she's wearing a black and white sweater with, like, a little pattern on it, and it's not like a look. It looks like normal clothes for going to work. And she has appended the following caption: current aesthetic, cute English teacher who's high-key banging the history professor. Now, were this to stop here, not a bad post, not a good post, a forgettable post. Someone posted their outfit, it looked like whatever, and they had a kind of a goofy quote, a goofy caption, move on. But no, some motherfucker, some dude, replies with a picture of himself wearing a fucking, like, rumply gray cardigan and a fucking bad gray tie, and he's got the horny guy face. It looks like a reply image, and he says current aesthetic, the history professor, which, oh no, so horny, so explicit, such a swing to make. Replying to the person who just said that they were banging the history professor, very disgusting. And if it were to stop there, it would be a pretty bad post. I don't know if it would be one bad enough to get on this show. But Joey continues. A third person replies, this motherfucker is wearing a fucking tan cardigan with, like, a rumply white undershirt underneath. All of which is just... The reason I'm emphasizing all this is that this is ostensibly, like, an aesthetic thread where, like, check out my look, check out my aesthetic, and every single person is wearing, like, fucking, like, sleepwear. They look terrible. And this third person has the caption, current aesthetic, the history professor's substitute who joins in on the action.
There's too many people involved for this to, like, fly at, like, a workplace secrecy thing.
Oh. Well, funny you should mention that, because another person replies, this guy is wearing a blazer with like a fucking normal polo underneath it. They don't really look like they fit quite right. And he says, current aesthetic, the principal who really wants to get in on this sexy fest, but also doesn't want the whole thing to blow up in his face. Oh, sexy fest is like that 2008 like sexy time speak. Remember that?
Yeah. Like to boobies.
It's quite bad. It's very Wednesday the day you flumpty flew.
But
and
for sex,
want to get into the
unfortunately.
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay, the next person replies is the first girl since the original person. So this whole thing thus far has been a girl posting a picture of herself in her clothes. And then 3 men saying, I want to fuck you. I'm role-playing me fucking you. Hi, he. You like this, right? And then a girl, she posts a picture of herself wearing a normal skirt and a fucking blouse. Looks, man, for all the world, like standard outfit for work, not an aesthetic. And she says, aesthetic, the librarian who nearly exposes the whole affair before joining in. Oh, man.
It's so horny. I hate it. Like, the word you kept saying was rumpled. I cannot stress this enough. You kept saying rumpled. Is this, like, a fetish element? Like, I understand it's an aesthetic thread, but you kept saying, like, everyone's Columboed. Like, everyone's just, like, not, like, quite ironed.
I don't know. It's very, I mean, like, maybe they're getting into the role play of it. And it's like, people who would be doing this would think that they're, like, more snappily put together than they are, but they're really just sort of, like, rumpled, like, lump people. I don't know. It's very, just very unpleasant. And I think a great moment in posting history.
Another one that is important to Tom more so than me is this Tom Jorgensen tweet. This is I started seeing remixes of this like this week outside of this this conversation, it was really nice. And the tweet is this: between Bernie, and Bernie is the E is replaced with an asterisk. Between Bernie, my ex-wife, the tenant from hell, and the general chumfuckery, this has been a crumulent fuck crustable of a day. Tommy Needy Drinky.
Tommy Needy Drinky. Oh man, Joe, when we were doing this episode, we were looking for, like, we need to find examples of bad posts from MRAS and the Horse Whisperer, because those two to us seem to embody like the archetypal, like, annoying Gen X liberal who, like, thinks that they're progressive but works as a Wall Street consultant and, like, is actively making the rot worse while also being so sanctimonious and like, they're so awful, but what are the posts, like, what are the specific posts of theirs that are that bad? And then we both realized that the actual specific post is not by either of them. It's this.
And the remix I saw of this recently was like a really like cool like metal cover of like skeletons with swords, and like one skeleton was labeled Bernie, one was my ex-wife, one was the tenant from hell, and then there was the general chumfuckery. Oh, you know what? It was the 4 horses apocalypse. That's what it was.
You just thought it was 4
whatever.
Spooky horsemen.
Look, man,
it's like, wow.
I don't like to jump to conclusions. Sometimes horse guys can hang out and it's not like a theme.
Okay. Have you noticed this? That like Gen X people and like Zenny Hardin loves doing this. They're all obsessed with like the very overwrought compound swears. They want nothing more than to go back to the days where like you get paid $50,000 on Boing Boing to call like Tom DeLay like a ass hat fuck nugget. And everyone was like, ass hat fuck nugget, oh my god, you're a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Can I steal?
And we're not saying we're better than it, because like literally everyone couldn't get enough of this. Like the entire world ran on it. It's weird. It's not unlike how the secret to SEO for like bullshit for a while was just to do fucking bacon content.
Yeah. I mean, the thing though, Joe, is that Tom Jorgensen is saying cromulent, funk crustable, and general fuck chump fuckery in October of 2019. We were past that by then, by a good decade.
Yeah, we say schnice now.
Yeah, we say that, like, today has gotten nutty with it. I need to start schmoovin'. Tommy needs to start schmoovin'. I need some smooth schmoovement. I love this post. Everything about it is incredible because, we start off with Bernie fucking censored with the asterisk instead of the E, which that is beautiful to me. I used to just, like, periodically search B apostrophe RNIE on Twitter just to see what the people were saying. And it was like going to the zoo.
It's the same logic now when you see a post and it's like, do you want to see the post hidden by the author? It's like, I don't want to see the other ones. I only want to see the ones that proof that they read and went, ew, I don't want others to see this. Yes, I want to see the good room. Take me to the good room.
Twitter is like, excuse me, sir, would you like to see the post that made this person get mad?
Do you want to see the freaks behind the rope?
Yes. I actually, today, I was like, I wonder if there's still gas in the tank. And so I searched on Twitter Bernie with a fucking apostrophe over the E. And would you believe it? I found someone saying, apropos of nothing, Bernie-crats really are the cult of the left. It's never his fault that he didn't win. It's always because corporate forces were working against him. Every other candidate who loses is expected to take responsibility for their own failures. Everyone except Bernie and Trump.
Who cares? First of all, like, it's over. Like, it's done. You win.
Like, he's been, like, Bernie got killed by the CIA like 2 years ago. Like, he's so dead. Like, he'll never be important again. Like, you won. Like, you won. Also, corporate forces were working against him. What do you want? Like, what am I supposed to say? Fuck. Okay, but the Tommy Needy Drinky, there's more. There's more layers to this. Because, okay, we got the Bernie with the apostrophe, which is incredible. It says so much. My ex-wife. So we know he ate the divorce fruit. The tenant from hell. Oh, we know he's a landlord. It's okay to hate him. I'm sure that, like, the chances that the tenant from hell was the tenant from hell because, like, they didn't answer a text because they were getting chemo is, like, 100%. And then your general chump fuckery, and this has been a cromulent fuck crustable of a day. Tommy Needy Drinky. Why is there a Y on all of them?
Also, cromulent in the Simpsons joke word was, like, positive.
Yeah. It's a cromulent word. It means that you should use that word. Fuck. Oh my god. Joe. Oh, holy shit. So this I didn't know about until I was doing my research. So I love the Tommy Needy Drinky post. I love it. As you suggested, because my name is Tom, this really applies to me. There was one day when I posted thinking about becoming a guy who says Tommy Needy Drinky, and a bunch of people who didn't know about this post got, like, really concerned. You were like, oh no, Tom, you actually don't want to do that. Let me explain why. But I found a reply that Tom Jorgensen did that day to someone who was making fun of him. And this is kind of a treat because I think Tom Jorgensen has deleted his Twitter account for obvious reasons. But this is what I can only surmise to be a reply to someone who is roasting him because there's no context. You know, I don't see the post that he's replying to. But it is. Oh, because property management is such a fucking cakewalk, right? Yes. Because divorce is funny? Yes. Because I'm an evil miser who hates puppies because I don't worship at the false altar of Papa Bernie, the anti-intersectional. And then there's a gif of a black woman doing like a face. Your standard white lib gif.
That's good.
The anti-intersectional, dude.
That is for sure. Did you ever play any of the wrestling games? Like, when you made a ton of critic character wrestlers, like, the anti-intersectional would be pretty good. Like, that would be, like, someone we make.
Because famously, when he kept saying Medicare for all, he meant, like, he would always interrupt himself and be like,
for
by
me.
the way, when I say for all...
Medicare all for me.
Yeah, it's all for land-owning white men. I wanted that to be so clear. Please assume that when I say citizen, that's what I mean. Never misquote me on that. Yeah, he was saying that all the time.
And honestly, just reading stuff that is clearly in response to the primary, it seems like a window into another time. It's like we were playing a different game. It's like at that time there was like electoral concerns, and it's like now there's like this thing called like the carbon life bar. And like I don't really care as much about like how certain suburbs of Iowa are trending, I guess, as much now.
Yeah, it feels kind of silly now. It was so important at the time.
I mean, it was important at the time, and it still is to have done that, and anyone who continues to do that. But it's just, it does feel like my scope on everything has changed a little bit, and a smaller slice of it, I think, I'm viewing it through electoralism, I guess.
Well, Joe, here's a post that can sort of cleanse your palate, because it is just pure fucking nonsense. What I'm about to read to you is foolishness that applies to no one ever, and it is from Greg Kelly, USA. This is, I believe, a host on Newsmax, which is if Fox News loved blood more. So this is an insane man, and he has really like exploded out of the gate recently as one of the great posters in the game today. You may know his McFish post, where he yelled very loudly that the McDonald's near him no longer serves the McFish, and they called him a male Karen when he made a fuss about it. The McFish, of course, being something that has never existed. He's thinking the Filet-O fish. Anyway, what I want to read to you is an even better post to me. I love this post. Proud of my Ferragamos. Even though I got them at an outlet mall in the sticks, people think I threw money around, Diddy style, to acquire them. I got them for $200. Hurt like hell, 2 sizes too small, but worth the pain. Sadly, no on the subway is noticing the shoes.
I don't miss Facebook, but there was a lot more of that. There was a lot of just like weird uncle energy. I like that. That's a fun post. I like that.
It takes you on such a journey.
He's showing you his shoes, but he's also letting you know that like he is being shadow banned with respect. Like no one is giving him the right amount of, I guess, accolades on the subway. And they honestly, they look pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, I mean, for real, he should be proud of those Ferragamos. Look at that. It's got...
I would never wear anything too small to save money on that. Like I know that's like the male experience where it's like I don't have to feel pain for fashion, but I'm not doing that.
I mean, the buckles look pretty cool, but that he's just like willingly like, yeah, I bought him 2 sizes too small. 1 size too small, that's crazy. 2 sizes too small, that's posting. Oh man, no on the subway is noticing. Noticing is capitalized. Noticing the shoes, and then shoes is in all caps. No on the subway is noticing the shoes.
Diddy style, I would also like to address, is just a wonderful insight into like cultural IQ. It's a very locked in amber sort of mindset, right? What would you like stick the relevance of like that as like a reference?
Like I can't remember the last time Diddy was like in the public eye. Like has he not been for like a decade like a behind the scenes kind of like guy who's retired from like performing and having a public image that he cultivates?
If that is true, that's even fucking funnier. I thought it was just like how for a while everyone was just like Bill Gates can fix it because he was the rich guy. Like that was just like their go-to. Like, oh, he's the computer guy that became rich when I was noticing things.
Pretty much. God, it's like he wasn't even like a really that prominent a rapper in his heyday. He was like fucking Notorious B.I.G.'s friend, and then he just was like sort of around He did Vote or Die. Like, he was never relevant. And yet, Greg Kelly is like, who throws money around? Well, it's Diddy. He buys shoes that are 2 sizes too small so that people on the subway will go like, hey, that was Ferragamo? And it's like, yeah. And they'll be like, yeah. And then he'll post, like, people are noticing the shoes, and he'll be happy.
Can I talk about... I think this is my favorite post of the collection. It was when the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia did a post at Canada implying that, like, if you continue to stick your nose where it doesn't belong, we will 9/11 you. I am not exaggerating for comedic effect at all. We will post the image with the show.
I'm looking at it right now. It's so funny.
This was, I believe, under the Jamal Khashoggi stuff, right?
Yeah. I think it was either Khashoggi or just in general, like, they're always doing some sort of human rights violation over there.
Yeah.
So, and Canada, Canada doesn't give a fuck about human rights. They love blood just as much as anyone.
Yeah.
So,
but
like,
they drink Blood Light. That's the problem.
Yeah, Blood Light, Molson Blue blood. I don't know. So whatever they said to condemn Saudi Arabia was some fucking toothless form letter that they do not care about. And yet,
and they just admitted it.
What does it say, Joe? What does it say?
It's an image of a 747 photoshopped as if it is about to fly into the CN Tower in Toronto. And the accompanying text says, "He who interferes with what doesn't concern him finds what doesn't please him." This is an escalation.
The thing is, Joe, you can't overemphasize enough how crudely photoshopped in this plane is. It looks ridiculous. It looks like it has a totally different sun shining on it than the rest of the picture. And also, in addition to what you just said, there's a second text box in red that says, "Sticking one's nose where it doesn't belong."
Can I tell you a fun detail? Is that they did an apology post, which is so fucking funny.
I didn't know that. Whoa.
Yeah, that same official Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Twitter account, infographic_KSA, they replied, "Earlier we posted an image which was inappropriate, which is why we deleted the post immediately. The meaning behind the post was unintentional and very unfortunate. It does not reflect the true intentions of our group, and we apologize to anyone who was offended." It was pretty clear. Like, it was.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, you know that 9/11 that we did? That we can do it again, bitch. Fuck you." You just keep your nose out of your business. Oh my god.
Okay, this had to have happened before I think you should leave, right? Because it should be nothing but replies of, "Oh my god, he admitted."
I think it was. It was. Okay, no, I'm looking. Season 1 debuted in 2019, and Saudi Arabia threatened Canada with the 9/11 on August 2018. So that, okay. Mm-hmm. So that was the only reason why it wasn't just Ruben Rabas's all the way down.
Yeah. Well, little did we know in a year we'd have the perfect guy to reply with.
Joe, speaking of a perfect guy, well, not guy, perfect person, because this is a woman that we're about to talk about, one of the great posters of all time. I don't know if she's still at it. I certainly don't see her posts anymore. But even if she retired early, her fiery run makes her one of the best to ever do it. Just a brain of staggering ability. You know I'm talking about Shanley.
Shanley had some good posts. Please take... Who is Shanley, Tom?
That's a great question. I don't think anyone ever found out. So my understanding of what Shanley is and who she is, and I might be very wrong.
She's the best poster of all time, and I think she was writing a book about Silicon Valley at some point, and I don't know what happened about that.
Yeah, my understanding of what Shanley is, if you asked me to explain her, I would say she's the woman version of Drill, but she's not doing a character. It's just real.
Yeah. Pure Mana.
Pure mana. So, okay. She first rose to prominence with a 2016 Twitter thread about how if you are casually using the word daddy in sexual scenarios, that is cultural appropriation. And she has a lot of posts about this, but I think that the best one I'm about to read to you right here is, don't have deep psychosexual Freudian and Oedipal trauma / dysfunction? Good for you. Stop appropriating daddy.
Yeah, I've definitely seen stop appropriating daddy as shorthand for this post. Referenced elsewhere, even recently.
I mean, because, like, this is what I mean when I say she's, like, the equivalent of Drill. Because, like, she's not, unlike Drill, she's not joking, but like Drill, she will just lay down a post which, once you read it, you realize the world was always waiting for this post to exist. It's just like, oh, it's here, finally. Like, we don't have to wait anymore. Here it is. Oh, I found some more of the fucking daddy shit. Daddy came from queer leather folk, and y'all vanilla-ass bitches out here like, yes, daddy, while you have monogamous missionary sex. Actual queer leather people who do daddy in BDSM club culture get treated like freaks and losers, and it's a cute fucking screen name for you. Your man finally figured out how to use whipped cream in the bedroom? That doesn't make it daddy. You're a long way from whippets and sodomy. Calm down, cupcake. Oh my god. She's so good. And I don't want to make it seem like she only talks about this daddy thing. This was like her breakout hit, but she was just on one constantly about everything she had to say. And a lot of what she had to say was, I'm a genius and all of my followers are horrible leeches who ruin my life every time I am forced to interact with them. And I think the post that sums that up best is 1 year after the daddy shit. So she had been at it for a full year by this point. She posts. It starts off with a quote, and now this quote is attributed to some unseen speaker who is commenting on Shanley. This is the hypothetical Shanley disliker or Shanley disrespecter who's about to say this.
This is the person you draw in your comic who you disagree with. That's like, duh.
Exactly. Yeah, that's who's saying this first line, and here it is. Shanley just smokes weed all day and thinks up weird shit. Yeah, you fucking morons. It's called being a genius and a visionary. Try it.
Read the second part.
Sometimes my brain is moving so fucking fast that I literally have to slow it down by smoking it out so I don't lose my whole shit.
I believe her completely there. Like, I 100% believe that she believes that as well.
Yeah. That's the thing about Shanley is like Drill, there's no irony. It just is what it is. She is exactly telling her truth. For example, I'm seeing another Shanley tweet that just, it's poetry. This is beautiful when I'm about to read. And also this is Drill, but she's living it, dude. All caps. Keep tweeting until every enemy on your enemies list has been vanquished. No matter how many times you get owned. Just keep logging on.
She's right. That's sort of like the great awful secret you can learn, right? Like, getting owned hurts, but like they can't stop you from logging on. And once you realize that the pain of getting owned is not in any way connected to your ability to keep coming back, that's when you're posting.
She's so fucking strong. One of the best who ever done it. I respect Shanley deeply as an artist and person. Oh man. I hadn't thought about Shanley for ages until we were doing this episode. My God. What a queen. No one does it better. Well, actually, someone did do it better. Pretty famously, in fact. That's got to be our wet boy, our big wet boy, Donald Trump. We hate him. One of the worst presidents ever. One of the worst people ever. But one of the best posters.
Man.
To ever do it.
Yeah, you picked a good one. Can I read the one you picked?
You sure can, buddy.
This is 2014. Every time I speak of the haters and losers, I do so with great love and affection. They cannot help the fact they were born fucked up.
The liberal pathology to think that Donald Trump is a uniquely evil and incompetent person is a bad thing to believe. One, because it robs you from understanding the whole context of evil and where it came from, but also it forces you to deny that this shit is so funny. They cannot help the fact that they were born fucked up. That's such a good joke.
It's not as like resonant. It doesn't have as much of a posting footprint, but I really do like there's I think a 2012 tweet where he says the Coca-Cola company's not happy with me. That's okay. I'll still keep drinking that garbage. I really like that tweet because there's like some like self-awareness that in there that's never ever happened again.
Yeah, I mean, like he's realizing that something is beyond his grasp to change, and he's like, oh well, so be it. I guess I'll go along with it. Can't fight it. And that was the last time he ever said that.
Yeah.
Oh man. And Casey Tony, homie of the show, points out that you gotta include Covfefe as a great moment in posting history. Not and great as in large and immense, using it in the pejorative sense, because it's not actually a good post, Covfefe. It was a fucking typo.
Yeah, but it also changed the geology of online.
Exactly, yeah. Because it gave these fucking libs a catchphrase to hammer on forever to reduce Donald Trump, who is like a locus of thousands of different streams of evil that have been flowing for hundreds of years, that have very real causes that people are intentionally cultivating today. Instead of focusing on that, they just say, Covfefe, dumb man, evil man, his fault. He's the only one. And once he's gone, it'll be good. It's like, no, it won't be good when he's gone. You have to, he is good at posting. Covfefe is not the one about the haters and losers being born fucked up is the good post. Stop saying Covfefe.
Yep. Yes. Like, oh my God. Like, it feels like everyone's listening to the wrong album. That's the issue. God. That's what it is.
They're listening to the Liz Phair album where she's nude on the front, and not the one where it was indie rock.
Yeah. Oh, and we're like the losers that are trying to tell people, like, you gotta get the deep cuts.
I mean, actually, if you look at every single track on Exile and Guyville was written as a response to the track on the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street that appears in that track number order. So track number 1, well, that's gonna respond to track number 1 on Exile on Main Street, and then it goes on in that form. Yeah, that's who we are, and it sucks, but we're right.
Yeah. Like, I accept that's what we are. That's fine. One thing that wasn't like a post that was very funny during Trump is when he got banned. There was that period where he was like logging on to other government accounts and then also getting banned on those.
And then like some random guy, not an employee of the government, some guy was like, Mr. President, sir, I I'll give up my account for patriotism. You can have my account, sir.
That was so fucking funny. I don't know who said this at the time, but I read a reply that was like, we're all like currently like in a gymnasium and there's like a bunch of locked doors and the president of the United States is like trying to get in and he's like rattling the doors and he keeps saying he's a different guy so he can get in.
I mean, this is why we have our running bit, which is that he died, because like he is a poster. Like that was what he was born to do, and that's the thing that he was best at in his whole life. Better than doing deals, better than being a rich guy, is he was a poster. That was what he always was meant to be.
Yeah, he also never really figured out what deals were.
Yeah, he was like really fucking stupid, which as a poster is a huge asset. But when you're making a deal, like being smart helps a lot. So he sucked shit at that. So like when he had his posting taken away, he did in every way that matters, he died.
Mm-hmm.
God, fuck. Speaking of things dying and politicians, well, there's that classic Chuck Grassley tweet. Now, Chuck Grassley is an ancient senator who's 1,000 years old, and his Twitter is incredible because he's clearly doing it himself, and you can tell because it's written by a guy with dementia. And this is a 2012 tweet. Fred and I hit a deer on Highway 136, south of Dyersville. After I pulled fender rubbing on tire, we continued to farm. Assume deer dead.
There's one where he like caught fire, right?
I don't know.
There's like pant on fire, pant fire. Hold on. Hold on.
Shit, yeah. I found it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I am remembering correctly. He did catch fire. This was the tweet he did. It was work on farm Friday. Burning piles of brush. Windy fire got out of control. Thank God for good nabber. He helped get...
Neighbor spelled N-A-B-R.
He helped get under control. And the next part is all one smushed together word. Pants burn, leg wound.
Pants burn, leg wound, assume deer dead is like the phrase that you hear to remember your karate training. Holy shit. Assume deer...
This was in 2012. Okay. Like, this was his brain 10 years ago.
Yeah, dude, pants burn, leg wound was 2009. I was like, I couldn't legally drink at that point. I was a little baby boy. And Chuck Grassley was a U.S. senator. And he was logging on to Twitter, his personal Twitter. He's like, this is a good use of my time. I have to let everyone know about this. Thank God for good neighbor, Pantsburg leg wound. And then 3 years later, assumed deer dead. He didn't even check. He hit a deer and was like, whoa. That's wild. Anyway.
You don't really get to be a senator checking if your actions kill things.
He's like, yeah, of course they kill things. I work for the blood machine. Like, what do you think what else would I do?
I love to put my cheek next to its beating heart.
Oh, fuck. Joe, another one I want to point out. This is just an all-timer terrible post, and it's been sort of something that people have disliked for a long time, but this was the breaking point where, like, the temperature of the culture, like, changed. We hit the tipping point, and, like, it can't go back. It's Charlotte Clymer. She did a post when Stephen Hawking died, and she's doing that ghoulish post-celebrity death thing where the celebrities meet in heaven, and all the people in heaven are like, wow, it's you. So here it is. It's in a sort of screenplay style where there's little headers that show who's speaking. Prince, where you been? We were waiting forever. Bowie is already dancing naked with a lampshade on his head, and Alan Rickman passed out. Stephen Hawking, sorry, got held up. Prince, what's happened since we left? Stephen Hawking, you don't want to know. Let's party. I love that they're like, Stephen Hawking, why did you not die sooner?
Yes. Oh, man. So this is just a worse version of the Game Master Anthony tweet.
Fuck!
I will present the artifact thusly. This was, I think, on NeoGAF. Game Master Anthony, that's his name. On February 28 in 2008, he posted, "It's my birthday today, and I'm 33. That means only one thing. Bring it in, guys." And then he did like the asterisks to show like scene stuff happening.
Yeah, stage directions.
Stage direction. Every character from every game, comic, cartoon, TV, movie, and book reality come in with everything for a huge party. It's the same. Like, those are the same. Game Master Anthony, I think, had courage to put this out there.
He had courage and purity of vision. He knew exactly what he wanted, which was every character to come to his party. Like, there's no elevation, there's no escalation, which is incredible. Like, he went for it straight away. He swung for the fences and he hit a goddamn dinger on the first try.
His sense of scale is so much better than Charlotte's because she's so focused on recent deaths, and he's like, "Oh, I can have the entire multiverse at my whim."
They all are my friends,
and they're all gonna wish me a happy birthday.
Like, even the villains, like Batman and the Joker, both are my friend. Like, I'm that. And also, like, Clymer's got such like a small mind. Her imagination is so thin, because like
The lampshade thing, yeah, that's upsetting. I don't like that.
David Bowie, one of the most more original of the classic rockers. He really had it. Was a big part of his career was cultivating a very specific image that he would not allow to go stale. And the thing he's doing in Heaven, an other dimensional world of infinite beauty,
Is phoning it in.
She's doing the thing from Posters. No. Fuck this. Also, no shade to Stephen Hawking. I don't think Prince was eager to chill with him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they'd run with different crowds. Fuck this. Game Master Anthony, God, he's cool. Now, that's a good posting history. Like, that's someone who just gets it. Because you can say Game Master Anthony now as shorthand, and people know what you mean.
Yeah.
You mean every character coming and partying.
It means, like, the most amazing, like, fantasy that can happen.
It also can't become dated. He didn't name any of them. He just said all of them. So when new characters get thought up, they come to his party next year.
Countless artists and designers and game developers work tirelessly only to feed more ideas into Game Master Anthony's birthday party.
Yep. So another great moment of posting history, something that was a real jaw dropper of a tweet that I could not believe was getting put out there, and especially not by the person who said it. Was some background. There's a terrible gimmick account called the Tweet of God, where the guy pretends to be God, and lately, if you check the feed, it's just like it's very clear the person who writes this has like become blackpilled. And is like a doomer, because every tweet is like, I hate my awful creation. I'm glad they're dying. I gave them this beautiful planet and now they're dying. Great. I wish I could make it go faster. I regret everything I've ever done. And it's like, oh boy.
This is it's a bad gimmick to have, as you watch, as the people in character, of course, you gave Steward of the Earth to destroy it. So, I don't know. I'd probably just close it down.
Yeah, and you certainly wouldn't tweet the following thing on January 14th, 2020, which is from the Tweet of God. This is in the voice of God. The conceit is that Yahweh, the Lord of the Judeo-Christian faith, is saying this. I've gone 5,000 years without talking to a single Chinese person, much less endorsing one. But damn it, America needs Yang.
Sometimes you, in an eager state to be topical, you imply that no Chinese person has ever felt the divine touch of God.
Yeah, you just say, God, man, this is like one of the most racist things like you could ever say.
It's a real dick trip of a tweet. Like he really stepped in it.
What's the joke? Like, is there something there?
The context was that he needed to have a reason to say America needs Yang, and his reason was to like carve out a subsection of the life on Earth that doesn't receive his grace. And I think that's rude.
It is a bit rude to just be like, hello, I would like to endorse a presidential candidate of my choosing, but I've backed myself into the corner with this fucking God shit. So let's just say that the biggest group of people that there is has never gone to heaven, and I don't treat them like equals. Anyway, no one get mad at me. Instead, just take this as a Yang endorsement.
I think I posted about this a while ago, but my favorite version of like who's actually in heaven, like that joke that's a common concept, is from China, Illinois, when one of the Professor brothers dies and he goes to heaven, and only Jesus and Old Yeller are there, and he says, "Where is everybody else?" And then Old Yeller says, "Oh, they're in worker heaven."
No.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
Fuck. Man, I can't, the fact that this tweet of God motherfucker kept posting after this is wild. Just the embarrassment of having been a public Yang endorser is a big black eye. But then also, again, saying possibly the most racist thing you could say. And I know it's fake. One, God's not real. And two, if it was, it wouldn't be this fucking guy. But we're supposed to be pretending that this is God. And if God did say this, we would have to level up and kill him.
Our problem with most of these, it's they didn't do the character work. They didn't really sit and think it through.
They did not. And the wild thing about this God guy is that the fucking tweet of God started a podcast this year, and famous people are going on it. Fucking Richard Kind and Gilbert Gottfried and Jason Alexander from fucking Seinfeld are on the God Guys podcast. Penn Jillette, Lucy Lawless, David fucking Cross. David Cross went on the Tweet of God's podcast after he did this tweet.
So this is just another case of we're idiots. I don't know how to take this other than he cracked the code and we're still trying to figure it out. And we need to pretend to be a divine thing more, I guess.
Yeah. We got to learn to become more racist. I don't want to do that. That sounds awful. I'm gonna avoid doing that personally. That might be a bad tactical move, but I'm sticking with it. Fuck.
We've been talking about posting for fucking an hour, and my face feels like the same type of greasy it would when I would game for a long time. This is very unpleasant.
Yeah, I feel so dirty. I've ruined myself. My brain is yucky now. I feel I don't know. I feel I have to do penance. I understand what the fucking Da Vinci Code guy was doing. Cat and nine tailing himself. There's some movie where Ethan Hawke is wearing a crazy barbed wire shirt. Is that a real movie or is that a Photoshop? It looks fucking fake. Anyway, that's how I need to be now.
The thing about that is sleeping would suck.
Yeah, that's why you got to put it on in the morning. You need a firmware upgrade in the form of Ethan Hawke barbed wire shirt. Flumpty foo, dude. Oh, God.
Flumpty.
Posting sucks ass. No wonder we did a fucking so long without a posting episode. All the four pillars suck ass. Everything in the world's terrible.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's it sucks. It's also funny, but it's also bad.
It is bad. God, fuck.
I know I've said I've been spending less time on Twitter, and I have, and I've just generally been curating my timeline so it doesn't hurt me as much. And I just did a whole episode about why posting is bad, but it's still the first fucking thing I do when I wake up. I wake up and I look at Twitter. I have to.
Yeah, and walking through the hollowed halls of this posting museum we've put together, looking at these great posts from history, it did make us feel awful and drained and less. A part of us got taken away and it'll never be filled in by anything again.
But that's every day.
Yeah, that's the thing though. That's going to happen regardless. But by doing this, I got to think about Shanley again. She's so fucking funny. She's one of the best writers of all time. My God. Shan.
I have seen it glow
It's called
white.
Being a Visionary. Try it.
I have seen it glow in white while jerking off with a bud. That's how I know this is real.
We hope that we were able to introduce you to some new posts that you've never heard of before and give you some fun laughs. You don't have to go digging for them because we found them for you. There's just only the gems. Because, man, I tell you what, most posts fucking blow. How do I know?
I spend every second I can looking at them. That's why. I tell myself I'm not doing it.
We're doing it. We're drinking the toilet water.
Yeah. I'm still doing it less, I want to be clear, but I'm doing it too much.
I mean, there's no amount of toilet water drinking that, is admirable. It's like when you see two guys and one of them drinks out of the toilet 15 hours a day and one of them drinks out of the toilet 3 hours a day. Like, no one's going to be like, damn, that guy barely drinks out of the toilet. They're going to be like, wow, those two guys are fucked.
That second guy has remarkable restraint.
Think of how often he wants to stick his head in there and go bleh, and doesn't.
Yeah, and he only caves to his desires 1/5 of the time.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, an anime sicko.
I am Joe, an anime sicko.
Don't look at any posts. Just don't do it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.